Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Laura, your favourite daily show presenter and your favourite show, Our Future. Today's focus is on obesity and healthy living, including a special report by our roving reporter James on the cost of healthy living. I will be joined by two guests this evening and we will be getting their opinions on the views of healthy eating. But first we're going to get the latest news from Kim.
Reports show that the number of overweight and obese children in the UK has risen steadily over the past 20 years. The obesity epidemic is now a major health concern. The government is already considering moves to limit snack food advertising to children as experts warn of a child obesity epidemic. Research shows that obese children are at increased risk from a number of serious health problems more usually seen in adulthood, including hardened and blocked arteries, high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. Obesity currently costs the country around £2 billion annually and shortens lives by 9 years due to the associated health problems. Some health experts even believe we'll soon see parents outliving their children. Statistics from the most recent large-scale survey in the UK reveal that 25% of boys and 33% of girls aged between 2 and 19 are overweight or obese, and there is little sign the incidence is slowing. A recent survey at one of the UK's leading children's charities found peer pressure, taste, money and choice affected what children chose to eat. It revealed children accepted junk food as their stable school diet and are influenced by the media and friends to eat high-fat and carbohydrate foods, and that teachers and parents had no influence over what they ate. It is certainly easier than ever before for children to become overweight. High-calorie foods such as fast food and confectionery are abundant, relatively cheap and heavily promoted, specifically at children. However, the Social Issues Research Council say that the scale of childhood obesity has been exaggerated and claim that average child weights have only risen slightly. Over the next year, the Department for Children, Schools and Families will be studying the parts that parents play in their children's education. Thank you and back to the studio.
As well as being England's top all-time leading point scorer, he is also responsible for the last-minute drop goal against Australia that allowed England to bring home the World Cup in 2003. I'd like to welcome to the show the one and only David Lamb. Hi David, thank you very much for joining us on the show today. You've been a rugby player for Newcastle Falcons for over 10 years, I believe, and you have 70 caps playing for England. What would be your advice to anyone who wants to pursue a career in rugby?
The most important piece of advice I can give is that you must be dedicated. You have to be willing to give up a lot of spare time and to practice so you can keep improving.
Your career has been plagued by injuries, but you seem to come back and perform stronger on the pitch every time. What do you do to get yourself back on form after having been injured?
I do as I'm told. I take the advice from the club doctors and physios and only start training again when I'm given the all clear. Even then, it's a gradual process and I never play a match until I'm back in peak condition. However, during recovery, I still make sure that I eat the right things, which I'm sure helps in recovery quicker.
As our latest news report and figures show, obesity is a huge problem and is becoming a nationwide epidemic. What is your opinion on these latest figures, and do you think sports such as rugby could be used to cure these recurring problems?
I believe that it's not just now that the obesity problem have occurred. I think the figures reflect what has happened over a couple of generations, and that the ever-growing industry of a fast food chains, games consoles and lack of exercise have all contributed to the state of the nation's health.
Do you believe that it's the individual's responsibility or the government's, on the case of children, their parents, to lead the way in improving the nation's health?
I believe it's ultimately the individual's responsibility, or in the case of children, it is the parents' prerogative, to ensure they eat the right things to get enough exercise. However, the government has to make sure that the public has access to leisure centres, etc., allowing them the ability to get fit at a low cost.
Do you think healthy living is enough to combat obesity, or do you think exercise is needed to ensure the health of the nation?
Diet and exercise go hand in hand with improving your overall health, so my advice would be to eat a little bit of everything in moderation, but make sure to get a weekly amount of exercise.
Thank you very much, David, for your views. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Now, as we've been talking about tonight, obesity is now becoming a problem nationwide, so our reporter James headed out to do a special report on the cost of healthy living.
House prices, holidays and general expenditure for the average family, but should this be affecting a healthy lifestyle? With obesity becoming a big problem in Britain, and with the focus of eating 5 fruit and veg a day, families are seeking cheaper alternatives to the high street supermarkets and brand names. Supermarkets such as Aldi and Lidl, whose brands are from foreign countries like Germany and Sweden, are becoming much more.
I do think that the main supermarkets like Sainsbury's, Tesco and Aldi, as we've just seen, they do promote healthy eating with offers on fruits and vegetables. So I do think that they are aware of this and are trying to promote healthy living and healthy eating. Yeah.
Would you blame society for the chaotic, unhealthy lifestyle people seem to be venturing on these days?
I do think, especially youth of today, they do have a tendency to eat the wrong types of foods, particularly junk food like chocolates and crisps.
Finally, it seems a lot of people are trying to seek help and guidance on how to live by a healthy lifestyle, but don't know how to go about it. What would be your advice to these people?
I think if anyone is concerned about their diet, they can always visit their GP, and he can organise or she can organise a dietary plan for them. Also, for more information, if you go on to today's website, there will be a link to my website which will give some healthy opinions, some advice on how to eat healthily.
Thank you, Professor Victoria. Some interesting opinions there. Now, after all those bleak figures regarding the nation's health, we could do with a bit of cheering up. So let's hope Melissa can deliver a bit of sunshine with the latest weather report.
Hi and good evening. With a cold start to the day in Sunderland, looks like the clouds will be around for a little while longer. Expected showers this evening and stretching into the night with a low of -1. So be careful on the roads as it may get slippy and icy in some areas. Looking better tomorrow though, with a top temperature of 10 degrees, but with a few sunny spells in the afternoon. Looking at the weekend, with a generally fine and sunny start, clouds will build with a few showers developing during the morning and lasting through to the night. Thanks, and back to the studio.
That's all we've had time for on today's show, but I'd like to thank our guests David Lamb and Professor Victoria for joining us and giving us their interesting views on the subject of healthy eating. And also I'd like to thank Kim for our news report and James the special report on the cost of healthy living. Now we know it doesn't have to break the bank to eat healthy and start improving our health. Tomorrow the programme is going to be focusing on gang culture and the impact it's going to have on our community. And until then, I'll say good night and see you tomorrow.